A main reason that I like to fundraise in schools is because we all know that money is an important factor, and we all know that PE equipment can be on the more expensive side. So I was for sure looking for something to give my kids just more of an opportunity to get more back for them, because I know that our families that they work hard for the money they have, and that the money that they want to invest in schools, they want to become back to their kids as well. So with physical education, there's fortunately our field has grown so much that it is a great positive that there's been so much new equipment and everything. So just finding ways that we can get those awesome pieces of equipment like scalar nets, uh, fleece balls, scarves, and the possibilities are endless. So I want to be able to give my kids the best opportunity to get the best experience for activity, because we know that activity, especially when learned at a young age and providing those fun and educational experiences, can impact their overall health and their future within their health and their active lifestyles. So, on a yearly basis at Briarwood, I'm allotted at least from just the school about $400. Which is a lot more than some schools are offered. I know I've talked to others, and some have been offered just 100. And being a special area, whenever you have over 700 kids, if you think about that, that's not even $1 per student. And as well as PE equipment, everything is just expensive in general. For example, a pack of 6 scooters is easily $400. So if that's what I chose to spend my money on for that year, I would be able to get 6 scooters and that's it. And we all know that accidents happen and things wear out over time. So being able to find different ways to create the access for kids and be able to replace things as needed and be able to invest in the program. That $400 only goes so far. So in the past, I'm currently going into my 4th year of teaching. And so in the past, the first 2 years, I completed the Kids Heart Challenge with American Heart, and it was a great program within itself. But there were just a couple of things that I thought could maybe be different, and just still of trying to find even more ways to get the money that we fundraise to not. We understand that goes back to a great cause, but as well of finding those ways to get a little bit more of that fundraising to come back to our program, just so that we can continually invest in our students and their futures. So I have completed the Health Moves Minds fundraiser for 2 years now. The first year I completed, I got in connection with one of the Health Moves Minds representatives, Katie Embry, and she was telling me about all the benefits of the program and that the resources were included, and that for the most part, it's a little bit easier on being the physical education teacher, but still providing those great benefits. And again, it's not with American Heart, but you do have the option to give back to American Heart, which is a great part of the program that my school still wanted to continue. So being able to have that flexibility was an important quality of looking into this program. And of just the side of that money is able to come back in an even greater amount for my students and within the Briarwood community. So one of the main aspects I love about the Health Moves Minds program is just the flexibility within it all. As a PE teacher, you are really able to just morph the whole fundraiser idea into whatever you see will be fit for your school, because we all know that schools have different families, different kids, different circumstances. So within that, there's no push of like you have to do this. Health Moves Minds and all of their staff are just always looking for ways to support whatever we need, whether it be ideas, resources, lessons, just even conversations from just how to start it all, how to wrap everything up, and just with it being just such a great and easy, simple process, is just a great aspect of the program. The last 2 years, I've had mine mainly within the time frame from February to March through April. With it, it kind of depends on what's going on within the school year. I know February does have that Heart Health Awareness Month, so being able to pair with that one time, and then two of just even my own personal schedule. I have been able to accommodate that within just being busy within my own personal life, which is a great part, is that the program extends. There's no certain time period. Um, and that with that, you are able to just kind of figure out too of what like certain fundraisers are going with the school, and you want to be able to give your fundraiser the best opportunity to perform. So with all the resources that Health Moves Minds provides is that you're not able to just use your lessons just during your fundraiser time, but also that you're able to access it and use lessons year round. I know some of them that we talked about is even like with the parachute of just being our mindfulness and understanding that our breathing can be a big part. So the parachute of taking up and down, going through scenarios and everything, because kids need those visual and be able to experience that and be able to pair those thoughts and emotions and situations with real life of what we need to do in those situations. Just because we know that a lot of times at school, they're here for over 8 hours a day, some days, and that a lot of what they learn helps them within their life. So being able to provide those real life experiences to not only care about the student in their academic, but also from their emotional and social standpoints. And some other things that we have included within the classroom are just even sometimes after a lesson of we're just kind of a little bit crazy and excited and hectic of just even as we lining up, even though we just had a great PE class, and we learn how to calm ourselves back down, but of understanding that when our heart rate gets up, when we're maybe emotional or we're upset, of just having that ability to use that coping strategy of a simple, just 1 minute, just to kind of get our heart rate back down, get our brain calmed back down a little bit. So after completing my first year fundraiser, I know that we received back well over $1,000. So we were able to buy a like cargo net, scalar net that kids are able to use not only on like our obstacle course or challenge days, and that scalar net was something that was a big ticket item. I know it was probably closer to the $2,000 mark. And I would never have been able to afford that within my yearly PE budget. And with the budget, we have to spend it each year. So I wouldn't be able to have that roller amount. I know that Health Moves Minds does have that option, which is a great option if you are looking to purchase some of those bigger ticket items that you wouldn't normally be able to afford. And that scaling up, some of my kids love it. It's an easy and different climbing way that a lot of my kids don't have access to. So something new and different for them. And then after this year, we're going to be able to purchase some brand new soccer goals. Soccer is a really common sport within my population, and that we have a lot of students from different ethnicities, and that soccer is just a really popular one that a lot of my kids love to play outside of school. So being able to afford that new equipment, I know we're getting some new bowling options, and it's just been able to be just such a big impact of being able to afford those big ticket items that I wouldn't be able to normally afford. So with being able to purchase a variety of different equipment, it gives the kids more opportunities to try new things and be able to have those different experiences. And many of my students, they don't have a lot at home. So being able to provide those opportunities and within it all of just creating those positive experiences with physical activity and just of talking, having those conversations with the kids like, hey, whenever our bodies are moving, what does it do to your mood? How does it affect you? And they're able to say, hey, it makes me happy, or it's a way that, it takes my mind off of stressful situations. And being able to build those bridges within that and realizing that exercise and activity is just so crucial for health, not only for the physical aspect, but just the mental side, the emotional side of it all, and helping those kids to hopefully want to increase those opportunities of maybe of including to get, their brothers and sisters involved, mom, dad, grandma, and then that way that invests into their future activity at home. So just trying to continually provide ways for kids just to be able to have the education that they deserve. So with the amplifying kindness too, of also even just the vocabulary word within itself, of what does amplify mean, and just of how the fact that it goes on it goes on in many different ways, and just trying to increase that amount as well. And just talking about how when we are able to increase our learning and our abilities, of how that's going to overflow into different categories of our life. And of that, when you compare it within just your physical side of that, whenever our bodies are moving more, it's going to help our bodies even more and helps our hearts and everything. But then of also when you flip it to the more relationship side, and like you said, the kindness side of developing and talking about, what does kind look like? What does kind look like in the gym? What does kind look like at the lunchroom? What does kind look like at home? And just it is able to just have those times to just really focus in and try and reach those kids and have those conversations and have them have those experiences of like, hey, this time during PE, I want you to try and find one way that you can be kind to someone today. And, and then of revolving back at the end of class of like, hey, what were some ideas or what were some ways that you showed your kindness today? And of even giving them the challenge at the end of the class, hey, I want you to try and find one way to be kind at home, one way to be kind at school tomorrow. And then again, of having that follow up and just being able to have those conversations and putting the kids in the situations to where they're able to make those choices, and be able to see the effects of those. We are trying to get students to learn the life skills that they will need just beyond the school building. And so fundraising does put them in a great spot for that. Again, they're having to have those conversations with either friends, family, grandparents, neighbors, whoever. So within like the safety realm and understanding who safe people are and who are people that you can trust and have those conversations with. And then the other aspect of also not just asking for money, especially like within the family of like, hey, how are ways that I can maybe help earn, a way to earn this money for a great cause, and having those conversations of that not everything in life is going to be hand given to you. And that sometimes we do have to find ways to earn it. So, of having this conversation of like, okay, maybe ask mom and dad, hey, I'm fundraising for this cause and I'm going to be able to do this if I raise this much or whatever your amount is. And, maybe it's helping around the house. Maybe it's taking out the trash. It's a lot of things we do have to work for in life. And then again, of just creating that awareness, and they're able to promote the cause. They're able to say why I'm doing this, so that we're trying to fundraise for American Heart and for kids and families who need help, to be able to, that kids can have the anything that they need, that, and understand that sometimes people are less fortunate than us, and that being able to extend that helping hand to people whenever they need it, because you never know whenever you might need help as well. But then of the side of, we're trying to improve our school that way that we can improve our own selves within buying the equipment and everything, and just of being able to just have those conversations, to be able to have this type of fundraiser has just be able to give our kids that opportunity of working hard and being able to understand the just different sides of everything, of that not everything is just given right to us. There's times we have to work hard, and understanding of promoting a cause, and being able to stand up for what you believe in, of that they believe that being able to raise this money is going towards the American Heart cause, but as well as it's going towards helping our school become a better school and giving us the resources that we need. But just within the whole fundraising side of just the flexibility in that, how my kids have been able to have more physical activity experiences within the fundraiser, and just with all of our different incentives of how this past year, they've gotten to have extra PE classes, they've gotten to be a PE teacher, and just giving them all those just different opportunities to promote those positive experiences with activity and everything within that realm. Again, you are able to create whatever incentives that you see fit best for your school, and you get to decide what the dollar amount is. This past year, I know our challenge day was $5, and then the extra PE class, you got the challenge day and an extra PE class. Then the t-shirt one was for $50. That was with the Health Moves Mind, so we just incorporated that into our scheme. And then the PE for half a day was $100, and then PE teacher for a whole day was $150. I know Healthy Spines, if you were able to raise that $50, they do provide that T-shirt, which everybody loves a T-shirt. I know my kids, whenever they've worn them, they'd be like, "Hey, Miss Cook, do you remember that we did this with you?" And I was like, "Yes," and they love that part with the Health Moves Minds. But within my own realm, are the one that I try and get most kids being able to afford is the $5 one. It's really, I feel like, a simple, attainable, hopeful goal. Um, and with that, they're able to come into PE on those selected days of being able to come and do our challenge course. And with that, with the challenge course, we're able to provide a different array of equipment between different little ninja courses, rock walls, scalar nets, scooters, all different kinds of obstacles and everything, and understanding that sometimes the things that are going to happen in life, they might be tough and they might look a little scary at first. But of being able that you are able to, with trying and with great attitude and with others helping you around, of that you're able to overcome some of those things, and just being able to have that kind of real life, but also put it into student terms with that. And they just really enjoy that day. And I have so much buy-in from my school. And it's one of my favorite days, just being able to get to play with the kids and just enjoy, and just, it's not a big stress free. We're not worried about, how to properly throw the ball or how to properly dribble, all of those, that all of the aspects of the challenge course, we've done at some point, or just kids are able to, try new things and be able to kind of learn and be okay of like, okay, maybe I didn't do it right the first time, or maybe, hey, this time I see this different way. I might want to try it some way different. So just that flexibility, and the kids are just able to have fun. They're also able to intermingle with other classes, which they don't normally get to do a whole lot of. Recess is about the only time with that, with getting to be in. So also providing the opportunity of them to have those relationships, to be able to build those positive experience with others that aren't just within their homeroom classroom. I've also done where you get to have an extra PE class. I've done where you are able to come in and be PE teacher for half the day, and also being able to be PE teacher for a full day. And I've been able to realize that after my first year, I did those opportunities, and that this past year they have for sure doubled in some of those different categories. I know just even some of the kids, I'll give them a little badge, and they just think that, this is the grandest thing, getting to be like Miss Cook for the day, and helping them to kind of stand up like what it means to, you have to be a leader, and that, you are in charge. So your words and your actions are very important because everyone is watching you, and that you have to be the one to step in and step up. And within that, we always do an award usually towards the end of class of, who was a leader today, who was maybe showing kindness, who was trying their best today, who was being a leader, and everything. And the kids are able to pick those students, which that also turns them into like, hey, they're looking for that, and trying to change that mindset. So they're able to hand out those awards, and they're able to demonstrate all the different things that we do in the challenge course days. And so once again, of giving kids those positive experiences with activity and putting them in those possible leadership roles, and of just everything, getting them to be active.